As we have seen, there are different techniques of meditation. And one of the first things that we try to do when we start meditating is to stop all the different thoughts from coming. No? As we also said yesterday, there are mainly two different enemies of meditation, which is the mental dullness and the mental agitation. And normally the first one that we deal with is the mental agitation. So first thing that we try to do is to bring down the mind from all this constant thinking and thoughts and so on. But then once we are able to calm down the mind and to concentrate into the object of meditation, then there is the danger of entering actually into mental dullness, in which the mind starts to get like foggy, which is between our own self and the object of meditation. There is this sort of fog, so we're not able to have a clear image of the object of meditation. The danger is that this mental dullness, this foggy-minded state, is actually pleasurable. And sometimes as we sit in this state, then it can actually develop into more heaviness. So the eyes start closing, we feel the body more heavy, the mind more slow. And then it can actually develop even into sleepiness, and then actually you can start snoring at some point. Okay? So, for some people, it happens that when they try to meditate, as soon as they start relaxing and really stopping the many thoughts of the mind, they start almost falling asleep. This sleepiness will come very fast. One of the reasons of this can be the fact that the person has so much tiredness accumulated that as soon as somehow person relaxes, all the tiredness come up. So for that reason, it's also important to have a good rest to meditate well. If we are extremely tired and a lot of tiredness accumulated, most probably as soon as we will relax, as we start to meditate, all that tiredness will come out and we start falling asleep. Okay, that's also why it's good to meditate in the morning. Then, another thing which comes to me is there is a movie and another fact which I experienced one time. The movie was the movie called Samsara, which I do not advise necessarily because personally I didn't like the movie, both from the content point of view and from the way how the movie was made. But the movie starts with the image of this monk who is meditating after 3 years retreat. They go to call him out of his 3 years retreat. And looks like he passed these 3 years, I don't know, smoking, whatever, because completely stoned. The monk is completely stoned. He's like this, not understanding anything, you know. And then he comes out of this 3 years meditation retreat, and then the first object of desires that he sees, he has no control whatsoever, and he jumps on top of this woman is almost the first thing that he's doing, no? So it's like giving a complete wrong idea. Okay? Because meditation is supposed to bring clarity of the mind and control of our actions, not the other way around. Okay? So, I remember on the other side, my father in 89, something like that, he stayed 6 months in India during a retreat. And when he came back after a few months of retreat, doing a lot of meditation and so on, we were in the mountains. I was quite small. I was, I think, 10 or 8, something like that. I know at the time I was 9, I think. Anyhow, I was with my cousins in my grandmother's house in the mountain. And he arrived there, and it was a cloudy, rainy day, and we were inside the house playing video game. And then he arrived there, and to mix together with the kids a little bit, long time he was not with us, so he started to play video game with us. And he never liked playing video games. It was not something that he used to do. And he was playing better than all of us that were experts somehow, you know, because we played a lot. And he was much better than us. And then we would start making fun out of him. He said, "Oh, what were you doing in India? Meditating or playing video game? You know, I think you were playing video game. You were not really meditating this time you were there." But what happened actually was that when we really meditate correctly, what does it bring to us? Clarity, concentration. presence. Okay? Even when playing video game, to play well, what would we need? Clarity, concentration, presence. That's all what happened. Okay? So this is to say that when we truly meditate correctly, it should bring our mind a state of more clarity, not a state of like this fogginess of the mind or something like that. That's not the right way. If we meditate, and by meditating we feel ourselves like more foggy, not understanding things, very sleepy, this means we are not meditating correctly. We are entering into mental dullness. When mental dullness is very strong and actually we feel very lazy and very sleepy with no energy, then one of the antidotes which are being taught in the teachings of Lamrim and so on is to meditate on impermanence. To remember the fact that yes, we are going to die. And we have no idea when. So let's do something now. Which is like shaking a little bit ourselves. It's like when we are driving, this happened to me a few times in the past. When I was driving very, very late, I was very tired. And then suddenly because of tiredness, sleepiness comes and it's like almost making a small accident. And then comes this shot of adrenaline and you wake up completely. So similar to that, when we are a little lazy, I don't know what to do, then we feel if we really reflect upon our own mortality, then it's like shaking ourselves and waking up and say, okay, come on, do something because yes, you are going to die. I am going to die. And I don't know when. But when we make this to ourselves, the first question is, am I going to die or not? And normally what is the answer? I think so. I suppose. But we need to be sure the answer must come from our heart, from our body, not only from our conceptual thought. So we should feel the answer in the heart, in the stomach, not in the head. So first question, am I going to die or not? Answer, yes. Second question, when? I don't know. Does anybody know? I don't think so. So the answer is, I have no idea when I am going to die. But when I say I don't know, it's an I don't know which takes in consideration also today, or is I don't know maybe in 20, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever. Most of the times is I don't know a little bit after it. No? Normally we don't take in consideration the immediate future and the present. So if we start saying, why not? Because I am young. If death could speak, say, why young people don't die? It happens, no? So, but I have a good health. Why healthy people don't die? Actually, they do. I am a good person. And why? Good people don't die? I have all the blessings. And what does that mean, Lama Tsongkhapa died. Had great masters that passed away. This doesn't mean much. I am rich, and so what? So truly, if we really analyze clearly, if we really use our logics to really analyze clear, we have no any reason whatsoever to say that we have a certainty that we are not going to die tomorrow or today. I even say tomorrow, you see. There is a saying which says, when we fall asleep, truly we don't know what will come earlier, the next day or next life. And this also makes me remember in the monastery, there was a road which was a bit dangerous. There was a turn which was quite dangerous because the road was going down and there was a turn, going to the right, depending where you were coming from. There was a turn going on, which is a bit dangerous. It's exactly when it goes down, then before going up, there was this dangerous turn. Some accidents happened there. So they put one sign with a speed limit, and it was saying, please go slow. And it was saying, it's better to be 15 minutes late in this life than 15 minutes earlier to the next. No? I say this in Italian also because I didn't say. No, mi sono solo ricordato che in monastero c'era una strada che era un po' pericolosa perché era una discesa abbastanza ripida, poi appena arrivava in basso c'era una curva molto chiusa e poi risaliva e era un po' pericoloso, c'erano stati un po' di incidenti così. Quindi hanno messo un segnale con i limiti di velocità e poi dopo c'era scritto andate piano, poi era scritto è meglio arrivare 15 minuti in ritardo in questa vita che 15 minuti in anticipo alla prossima. No? So, what happened is that truly we don't know. So, what actually really benefits us in relation to our own death? Okay. Let's say, okay, we may have a long life and healthy as I wish for everybody. But what can truly help us in the moment of our own death? What can prepare us for our death and for what comes after our death? Money? No. Power? Healthy body? Beautiful body? When we die, it's gone. Many people that we know and many friends and many connections? Also, it's not going to help us in the moment of our death. The only thing that really helps us is Dharma, which means not having many books or having a lot of knowledge. What is helping us is to have patience, stability, love, having a good heart, acting coherently, having a state of peace and balance and so on. That's satisfaction, concentration, wisdom. That's what's really going to help us in the moment of our death, truly speaking. So the point is that during our lifetime, during the day, we are mostly distracted, no? Because most of us, we pass good part of our time distracted by taking care of our own livelihood, working, and then after that, we pass the rest of the time taking care of the things that we gain, taking care of the house, then we need to take care of the food, need to buy the food, need to plant the food, I don't know how many people plant food anymore, but still, foods need to be generated, need to take care of the food, then we need to cook, then we need to eat, then we need to digest, then we have all the problems that comes together with our body, and then then we need to take care of the family, the children, the parents, the husband, the wife, the friends. This one is upset of this, that one is upset of that, and I try to do this, and then I want to get my object of desire, and I couldn't get that, and how I do with this. Today has headache, tomorrow is a stomach ache, then the day after tomorrow looks everything is fine, but then there is a problem of the heating system, whatever, okay? There's always something going on. And with all of this, it simply consumes our life. So during the day we are distracted. At night we sleep. And life passes by. One day after the other. And what happens? Finally, we die. And what have we truly familiarized ourselves with? The way how we have lived deeply. So the point is that it's important to take our time, and our time is ours, The time that takes for the earth to turn around itself once, that's a day. What we do between that, that's in our hand. So at least we should take some time to meditate, to cultivate our peaceful mind, to cultivate control over our mind and our emotions, and to be able to direct ourselves, cultivate stability, cultivate inner peace. We need to do that on a daily basis, because this is what truly makes a difference. Because there are also two things that are very important that I wanted to bring, which is, first, what really matters in life is not how long we live, but what's the quality of our life. Very often when someone dies, the first question that people make is, how old was he or she? And then I look and I say, what does it matter? The question for me is not how old he or she was. The question is, how did he or she live his or her life? Was it a good life? Was it coherent? What was the quality of the life? So for ourselves, the question is not how long we live, it's how do we live. When we have some time to stay with a person, or we go for holiday, or whatever, the important question is not how many days of holiday I have, is what's the quality of that days that I'm going to experience. When we have good quality, more days better, but still, it's more important the quality than the quantity. When we talk about time, and life is made out of time, the most important way, the reference that we need, the reference point that we need to judge for our life, we should not judge life by quantity, but by quality. Time should not be judged by quantity, but by quality. And the other aspect is, what matters in life is not what we do, but what we become. By the end of an experience, what have I become by the end of that experience? What have I truly learned by the end of that experience? Okay, I met a person, beautiful, nice person, ugly, difficult person. Whatever. By the end of that experience of knowing that person, who am I? How have that changed myself? Maybe it was a difficult experience meeting that person, but it made me understand things that before I didn't understand. It made me generate attitudes that normally I'm not doing, and it's made a positive change in myself. Wonderful. So, the main question is, as life goes on, the experiences that I have, the places I go, the people I meet, the things I do, how do these things shape my life? That's the most important thing. Who I become. Who I was before and who I am now, internally. That's the most important thing. More than actually what I am doing, where I am going, who I am meeting. The most important thing is what we become. Because anything, life passes fast. But we continue. And this is very, very important. So here, it's in our hands if we meditate or not. And I really advise everyone to meditate at least possibly once a day. And someone may say, I don't have time. That's not true. You have time maybe to read the news, to look at Facebook. You have time to change your clothes. You have time to wash yourself. You have time to eat. You have time to do many other things. Why you don't have time to meditate? Simply because it may not be a priority. So let's make it a priority and do it. And then maybe we make a commitment. I will meditate every day before going to work. And it may happen one day that you start the day and then suddenly when you see, you forgot somehow because maybe deep inside you remembered, but you make like if you didn't remember because you are lazy. You means us, any one of us can do that. And what happened then? We are out of the door to go to work and then remember, oh no, I need to meditate. I forgot. What shall we do? Go back inside. Oh, but I will be late to work. Doesn't matter. Go back. Oh, but my boss will scold me. Yes, that's the price of not meditating in the morning, forgetting. So you go now, meditate, and then you'll be scolded and you will lose the buzz and everything else. But tomorrow you will not forget anymore. If we start making exceptions, okay, today I forgot, nothing, doesn't matter, then tomorrow happens the same. Instead, we need to be a bit, strict with ourselves also, disciplined in this matter. And for that reason, we need to make commitments that are short-termed. So for this next week, I'm going to meditate every day. Finish the week, okay. Do I want to continue? Do I want to do one more week or not? Yes, good, let's do. No, okay. No benefit, no need to continue. If there is benefit, then we continue. So we make the commitment to ourselves. And this is something that actually makes a big difference. Okay? So all of this actually because I was talking originally about mental dullness. Then we entered about death, and this brought us to speak about all these other things. But the fact is that truly to know how to meditate is beautiful and useful, but we need to meditate. And for that we need to sit down and we need to make the space and the time. Okay. So, one important thing, it's also that wherever we live, it's important to create one space dedicated for our spiritual practice and meditation. Normally, if we can have a room dedicated for it, it's very good. If we don't have the physical space to have a room, at least to have one small angle inside a room where we can put our altar and we can put a place to meditate. And if that's not possible, at least to have one cushion that we know that is sacred, that I only use to do my daily meditation practice. And this is something that actually makes a big difference to have the space. And for whatever reason, I see that in our Western modern world, we don't have any space to meditate. Not only Western, but in the modern world. We do not have the habit to have in our own house a place for our spiritual practice. So, I just remember there was a house that I've been one time, very beautiful house. I was invited to it in Brazil. Like more 3,500 square meters of a built house in front of the sea. Really, really beautiful. You had the cinema inside, you had gym, you had all the place for breakfast, for dinner, for lunch, many guest rooms. My own room where I was sleeping, it was, I think, like 150 square meters, only the room where I was. The bathroom was like maybe 50 square meters, like really big and very well done, everything and so on. But then in the whole house, there was not one space dedicated for the spiritual path. You had everything, beautiful swimming pool, everything you can imagine, but no gompa, no place to pray, which doesn't need necessarily to be Buddhist, but a space dedicated for the spiritual path. What is this showing? That it lacks on our life, because in the house, what we do, we create the spaces that we need in our life. So I need one space to eat, I need one space to sleep, I need one space to talk to people, I need one space to clean myself, and so on. That's why we have the bathroom, we have the living room, we have the kitchen, we have the lunch room, whatever. Why we have this space? Because of the actions that we do during our life. So one important action is our spiritual practice. So if you can create in your own life, in your own house, a space dedicated for the practice, like a friend of mine, which I just met a few days ago before coming, he had a house with a bigger living room. Then inside the living room, he made a small other room. He put 2 walls, and he made another small room within the living room, which was for like a small gompa, a place for practice. And it worked very well. So to have in one's own house the place for meditation, the place for spiritual practice, it's actually something very beautiful and very important, which somehow in Tibetan culture it's very strongly present. Like I have been in many Tibetan houses, from very rich people to very poor people, and all of them have a place to pray and meditate. Some houses maybe you have 5 people sleeping in the same room, but then they have one room for meditation and practice, and they have no living room. And the small gompa they make and so on. So this is something that is showing the presence of the spiritual practice in one's own daily life. So this is something that we need to create in our culture, because somehow it's missing. So if we have a small altar, we have one angle in our house where we do our meditation practice, that's already very good. But it's important to create this space, both in space and time. We need to create space, physical space, and in time. It depends on ourselves creating the space for our practice. So we put in the priorities of our daily life to meditate every day, few minutes as we wake up, possibly. Otherwise, if we do not make the space, it will not happen by itself. That's very clear. Okay? And if we meditate in the morning as soon as we wake up, this I did many times, just wake up like I am maybe in somewhere else, and I wake up like here I have my small place to meditate. But if I am traveling around, it's different. So normally, if I am still in the bed, better to get out of the bed a little bit. Otherwise, you fall asleep again, possibly. But, or even in the bed, many times I take the same cushion to sleep, sit on it, sit on the bed, and meditate. In this case, maybe it's good to put an alarm if you have time that you need to do things. Otherwise, maybe you can mix your meditation with some mental dullness or sleepiness, and then maybe the 10 minutes become 40 minutes. But still, it's good to do it. It's very important to have this constancy. And this is what would make a big difference. Okay? So, just to conclude this part, actually is a repetition of what I have already said before, but in essence is we can make it to truly change ourselves. It's like when we sit down to meditate, it's like taking refuge in the Dharma. It's what I was explaining the other day in the morning here, that I think Friday morning, that the main refuge is the refuge in the Dharma. It's like we can go to live inside the pharmacy. This would not make us to get cured from our disease. We can get married with the doctor or with the man and wife. It doesn't matter, or with a pharmacist. It's not because I live with the pharmacist that I'm going to get cured. What made me to get cured? Not to live with the doctor, but to take the medicine. Okay, then, being with the doctor maybe helps, but what really helps is to take the medicine. And if we look in the ancient medicine, like Tibetan medicine and others, the process is that by changing our lifestyle, then taking medicine, and then doing therapies. In the same way, in our own daily life, in our own spiritual path, first we need to put into practice. Then, we can receive blessings and many other things which are very useful, but the most important part is for us to take refuge in our own daily practice. That's the most important thing. Okay? And the essence about everything, because anyhow, I was just like repeating the same thing again somehow. But the main point is that we can do it. And we should do it daily, And the only reason, sincerely, why I'm here talking to you is not because I have great knowledge, it's not because there is any other specific reason, it's because I believe in that you can do. Sure, I love sharing the Dharma, but the only reason why I'm here sharing it is because I truly believe that each one of you can actually put it into practice. As Shantideva said, to go to the doctor, to listen to teachings and not put them into practice is just like going to the doctor and only reading the prescription. It will not make us get cured if we only read the prescription. We need to take the medicine. Similar to that, we need to put into practice. We need to sit down and meditate. We need to put our own effort. Is it going to be easy? No. Does it depend on my own effort? Yes. Is it possible? Yes. Can I do it? Yes, I can make it. This is important for us to understand. Ok? Adesso. So, very, very briefly, one other technique of meditation that most of you already know is, for example, when we are reciting mantras or without reciting mantras, we visualize Guru Buddha in front of us, which symbolizes everything that is pure, all the qualities that we need to develop, the qualities that we have but developed in their maximum potential. From Guru Buddha comes rays of light and nectar that enter into us and eliminate our negativities and revitalize our qualities. This symbolizes developing love towards ourselves. Then, at the same time, we visualize all sentient beings around us, the people and the sentient people that we love on our sides, those to whom we are indifferent behind, those to whom we have aversion in front. First, we generate equanimity towards them, and then after we start looking at them and we see their suffering, and we wish them to be free from suffering, we wish them to be happy. In the same way that we wish those that are on the sides, we wish those that are behind and those that are in front. So, based on this, we start visualizing that the lights that come from Guru Buddha then reflect from our heart, and from our heart we emanate light and nectar, going to all sentient beings around us. eliminating their sufferings, bringing them to the state of well-being and happiness, and then afterwards coming back and reabsorbing back into our heart. So what are we doing when we do that? First of all, when the light emanates and goes to every sentient being around us in the same way, we are generating equanimity. We are familiarizing ourselves with equanimity. When the light and nectar goes and eliminates the suffering and bring happiness, we are generating compassion and love. And when the light and nectar comes back and reabsorbs back into our heart, and we rejoice for the well-being of them, we are generating rejoicing, which are the four immeasurables, four qualities which are extremely important in our spiritual path. Love, equanimity, love, compassion, and joy, to be happy for the happiness of others. Okay? So, these important qualities, with one visualization, we can actually develop all the four. And we are not necessarily saying, oh, now here we are going to develop equanimity, now here we are going to develop love. But by doing them, naturally, it will bring us to it. Okay? So this is one example. Then there is also the meditation of Tonglen, in which we breathe in the suffering of others, and we exhale all the good qualities that we have that multiply to others. And by that, what we are essentially doing, we would need much more time to explain this really, but essentially we are generating an attitude which is opposite to our own selfishness. Selfishness says, what is good I want only for me, what is bad doesn't matter where it goes, but as long as it is not with me. It's normal. So what we do with the practice of Tonglen, we generate exactly the opposite in order to eliminate our own selfishness. What is good I give to others is also with me, but I also give to others. And what is negative from others, I take them upon myself, through which I eliminate my own selfishness. Okay? This is just to give two examples of practices in which through visualization, we can actually also direct the mind and familiarize our mind with something. So there are many techniques of meditation with visualization, with recitation of mantras, and so on. There are really many that we can do. But between all of these techniques, as we have been seeing these days, if we make a conclusion of these 2 days, we have seen, first of all, why to meditate and what is meditation. And it's very important to know why, otherwise we would not do much, to develop this urge to meditate. Then we have seen different forms of meditation. Meditation on the breath, in a different way, with counting, without counting. We have seen the meditation on love. We have seen the meditation on eliminating the tensions accumulated in our body and mind and receiving the blessings. We have seen the meditation on how to eliminate our own defilements and how to train ourselves in our qualities, such as patience and generosity, and eliminating anger or jealousy or envy and so on. And also we have seen this very briefly, the meditation with visualization, how to develop love, compassion, and so on. So, from all of this, one of the most powerful ones, not powerful is not the right word, but the basis of all is the meditation on the breath. So I would like to conclude today with a short meditation, so that we conclude with something that we can after take on and take home together with us. Okay? We sit in a comfortable position with our back straight but not tense. Our shoulders are relaxed. The awareness on our own breath. qualunque altro pensiero sorga, non gli diamo importanza. Rilassiamo la mente nell'aria che entra e nell'aria che esce. Dedichiamo ora tutta l'energia positiva che abbiamo qui accumulato in questi 2 giorni per la lunga vita dei nostri maestri, perché il Dharma rimanga con noi in questa terra e possa diffondersi, perché ognuno di noi possa mettere in pratica ciò che abbiamo imparato, che possiamo sviluppare le nostre qualità e così aiutare ogni essere a uscire dalla propria sofferenza. Dedichiamo perché per ogni essere che si trovi in sofferenza che sia libero dalla propria sofferenza, perché coloro che si trovano nella fame che siano liberi dalla fame, coloro che hanno la sete liberi dalla sete, per ogni essere che sia malato che liberi dalla sua malattia, che tutti gli esseri non siano sempre liberi da qualunque malattia. Dedichiamo i nostri meriti, l'energia positiva qui accumulata, affinché tutti gli esseri possano vivere sempre in uno stato interiore di amore, di soddisfazione, di pace, con la saggezza, percependo perfettamente la natura delle cose così come sono. Generiamo quindi l'impegno di mettere in pratica insegnamenti, l'impegno di trasformare le nostre azioni in azioni virtuose per il beneficio di noi stessi e per il beneficio di tutti gli altri esseri che ci stanno intorno. Jetsun lame kutse rapten chi namkar chinle cholchur gepa losan tempe dreme sasumgi drove muse tatu ne gyurch chanchub semcho rinpoche ma che panam che gyurchi che pa nyampar me pa yang kong ne konto pelwar shun ni modele tsendele ni me kuyan delekshin Nintsen takto delekpe Concho sum ki jingilo Concho sum ki ngodrubtso Concho sum ki trashisho at dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the three jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realizations and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness. Teşekkür ederim.